Can you believe what we were forced to watch? We watched one of the biggest, in my opinion, con jobs that I have seen in a long time. Now, we normally talk football and basketball, but tonight we're going to talk some UFC. We were waiting for Conor McGregor's comeback. I was waiting for it. 5 years. I didn't even like Conor 5 years ago, but I've learned to appreciate the history of McGregor, so I became kind of a McGregor fan while not being a fan, and I'm ready. I was ready. But it looks like we got sold a bill of goods that were not real. We got sold a fake fight. I didn't see a knee injury. Did you see a knee injury? I didn't see a knee injury. They showed it over and over, and they tried to convince us. They tried to brainwash us into believing it was a knee injury. I didn't see a knee injury occur. Maybe he had one ahead of time, but I didn't see it occur. Guys, thanks for joining us on YouTube. We have people coming in and coming out, joining us on TikTok. I normally don't do UFC, so if you want to talk about it, we're going to talk about it. I'm just going to break down my thoughts. We got Anne-Marie on TikTok. Thanks for joining us. His knee was messed up before he got in the cage. He had to have the bell ring to get his check. 100%. I agree with you. I thought he was injured before he got in. We got sold a bill of goods. There's no way he goes in there for 69 seconds and takes a dive. I don't think he took a dive. I think he was hurt. I agree with you. I've never seen somebody at that level slip 3 times. 2 kicks and then a punch and goes down. And then everyone, the announcers, Rogan, he blew out his knee. Just making excuses. Nobody knew what happened until they said he blew out his knee. Guys, if you're joining me, I'm Jason J. Daniel. We do sports on TikTok. We're talking about this calamity. UFC 329 was supposed to be the comeback of Conor McGregor. Instead, it was the Con Job McGregor event. It was the phoniest fight I think I've ever seen. This wasn't the only fight I thought was rigged, by the way, tonight, and we'll get into it. I've got the card here for you. By the way, I loved, hey, what's up, Metalhead? Good to see you. By the way, I loved everything. The event was crazy. I was just in love with what I was seeing, the energy. It felt like a classic UFC. We had big names. It was a great card. So if you watched the undercard, which I did, and watched even the early prelims, I started watching really early, like at 2 o'clock in the afternoon as I was doing things. There were so many good fights. It was incredible. Metalhead on TikTok. Dana knew he was hurt before the fight, but they needed the money. Dude, I don't know if there's any other explanation, because why would he go in and go down that fast? He didn't put any pressure on the knee. 1 kick, and he goes down hurt. And then they said Joe Rogan and them rewound it. See, I respect Rogan, but they were making up stories to try to sell this. They look shocked. They rewound it, right? And then Rogan's like, let's go back to the very first slip. And then Rogan says he got hurt on the first slip. Well, then how did he get up the second time? And then how did he get up for the third time? It's just bullshit. We knew something was wrong on the second slip. That was what was weird. Metalheads, good to see you back. Guys, we're on TikTok live. We're also simulcasting on YouTube. If you are seeing me for the first time, we don't normally do UFC, but we're going to start doing that. I love mixed martial arts. I want to talk about this amazing card. We have Desiree, who's our moderator, the goddess of the chat. So, you know, UFC fans, fight fans, keep it clean, so I don't have to tell you to keep it clean, but she will police the chat. We want to keep it healthy. We want to keep it PG so that we can stay on. I'm also on YouTube at the same time. Jason J. Daniel on YouTube. It's a bigger screen. So if you want to watch it on YouTube, jump to YouTube. We have people watching on YouTube. We got YouTube comments. What's up, guys, on YouTube? Normally I do basketball and football. We're doing some UFC now. Okay, on YouTube, we got Bork 801. I would not be surprised if the fight was rigged, in my opinion. Dana White and the UFC are totally corrupt with like 4 exclamation marks. I don't agree with your last part, but I would agree with your first part. Dude, the UFCs have been trash for like 2 years. I can't tell you how many disappointing fights I've seen. The only fight I think I enjoy is Paddy Pimblett. I think Paddy fought last year. There's only been a few UFCs in the last 3 years that I've actually taken my time to watch and really enjoy without sitting through and talking to my friends, because they've been freaking boring all the way across. We finally got an exciting one. We finally got a superstar back. There are no superstars in the UFC like there used to be, except Conor. He comes back. He gives us what we wanted. We wanted a hot prelim kind of like feeling. That sounded weird. We wanted a really excited feeling getting up to the fight, and we got disappointed. Okay, Metalhead, you think Conor comes back on TikTok? Great question. I don't think so. I think this is it. Why would you buy this fight? Now it was on Paramount Plus, so it's like $13 or something. But why would anybody get hyped up for another fight? Look, it was against all odds. Everybody was nervous. You were nervous. Joe Rogan said he was nervous. The announcer said they were nervous. Everybody said they were nervous that he could not do this. They were right. Not only could he not fight, he couldn't show up. That is a con job. You know what made me feel so terrible is if you watch the prelims, and I had the show on while I was doing house cleaning and stuff and went out with the kids and came back and stuff. I was plugged in. They showed all sorts of fans who flew from Ireland. All these people spending thousands and thousands of dollars to be conned. I felt so bad for those people, man. M. Pete's on TikTok. You could tell he was hurt when taking off his shoes before the fight. That was interesting, M. Pete's. That was weird, wasn't it? It was a weird moment for me. I thought he was trying not to get knocked into. It was a weird moment of a broken conversation. I've watched as much UFC as you guys. We've watched thousands of hours of it. I've watched it for 20 years. I'm a classic historian, in my opinion, of UFC. I have the Fight Pass. I love fights. I can watch any UFC at any time, any like historic UFC. I can watch any fight. I love fights, and I've never seen a fighter in that situation that focused lose focus and almost trip over his shoes. That was really weird. Forever a Swiftie says on TikTok, I saw a clip of them posting together pre-fight. McGregor snatched dude's glasses. The other guy smirked. Yeah, that's part of the game. That was the prelim weigh-in and the face-off. Look, that's what Conor does. Desiree, if you have a chance to look at the history of Conor McGregor, that's tame versus what he used to do. So he's an older guy. He's been through a lot of stuff. He has a lot of baggage. And there was also a situation where he broke his leg. They put a rod in it. It was weird. The kick was the rod leg, the left leg, and the right leg was the leg that slipped. That's where they're saying he had the knee injury. Guys, we have double digits in the chat on TikTok. YouTube, we need a little more, you guys, to catch up. TikTok's winning tonight, but I appreciate it. My YouTube crowd is usually basketball, so I forgive you. Metalhead, why do I think he's done? Well, what did you see tonight that made you think it would be good to try to do it again? We didn't see anything. This was pathetic to me because it doesn't matter if you're a star with a name brand, you have to actually deliver. And not only did he not deliver, but it looked like he conned us. It looked like a fake job. It looked like that he was hurt ahead of time. I do not believe he got hurt in the octagon because they kept showing us over and over the kicks and the third kicks, and they kept trying to brainwash us. I know what I'm looking at. I've seen a lot of NFL injuries. When they were saying ACL or whatever it was, or MCL, you see that move. There was no movement on the leg. Now, maybe you saw it. I didn't. I think we got conned. I think they were just trying to clean it up. This was an embarrassment for the UFC. They're going to be having to talk about this for a long time. We have triple digits in the chat on TikTok. Thank you. Guys on YouTube, I see you. Thank you for watching live. Guys, we will answer your questions. I just wanted you to get it off your chest. Was this rigged? Interesting, right? Here's another situation. I'm sure you saw this if you watched the fight. They said somebody put a $990,000 bet on Polymarket or something like that before the fight, right before the fight, early, when the main card was happening, and they were saying the payout was huge. That dude won more than like $2 million or something. By the way, did you know Drake put $1 million on McGregor and lost it? That's funny. We got a notification on YouTube. We got Borsch. Sorry, I'm bad with names. You're saying I've always wondered why the legendary MMA fighter Fedor. You're going Fedor on me. I can do a Fedor talk. Never signed with UFC. I think he got word behind the scenes of how much Dana White's a bad person. You mean Fedor? I'm sorry, I'm Fedor. It's Fedor. It's been so long. Dude, that was 20 years ago, and Russia wouldn't he had a Russian contract. The government, that's a long story, but the government would not let him fight. But Fedor was the best MMA fighter for like 10 years. He was a legendary. Paddy the Baddy, Natty Tatty. Paddy was dope. Guys, we're at almost 300 viewers on TikTok. Thank you. Let's not talk about all the bad stuff. Let's talk about the fight card. Now, I got to tell you, that was a fantastic, phenomenal fight card. I was on the edge of my seat. I was jumping up. I saw so many good fights. It was crazy. So for somebody that's never watched the UFC, that was a great UFC to watch. Everyone should watch it. Just don't watch the last fight, but that was incredible. Paddy is so dope. He gets the crowd riled up. I don't think we've seen anybody that spectacular with the crowd other than McGregor, right? Guys, thank you for all the hearts. Who the F is Conor? Some rapper put down 1 million. Yeah, okay. Well, I wonder if that rapper had some inside scoop. You guys, some great comments tonight. Triple digits. We've got, Quantum Flow. Bro, what the fuck? Sorry, I can't curse on TikTok. I'm sorry, TikTok and YouTube were simulcasting. What the F was that? I know, what the F was that? It looked like either one, McGregor took a dive, which I doubt. 2, he was injured and just tried to play through it. And 3, he's just not that good anymore, and he's just slow. He's not in fighting condition. You can be in fighting shape, but you have to be in fighting condition. I just think we got conned. It's very interesting that it was a Paramount Plus and not a pay-per-view because people will gloss past it. But if you paid $50 or $60 for this, you would be so upset. I know Conor, man. Metalhead, McGregor still has 1 fight left on contract. Well, who's going to take that fight? No, would the UFC put him up again? Maybe, but he would have to take it at half price. I just think he's cooked. Everybody said he was cooked. Nobody said you could come back after 5 years. Who's done it? Most people that try to do that have bad comebacks. It's so hard. Bill Reyes, thank you for pinning it. Do you really think McGregor fight was fixed? I have my suspicions. Let me tell you what I think about fixed. There's different ways to fix a fight. If McGregor doesn't tell you he's hurt, that's a fixed fight, right? If McGregor takes a dive, that's a fixed fight. That didn't happen, I don't think. So yes, I do think it was fixed. I think that he had a pre-existing injury. I think he's dinged up. And earlier, did you watch earlier one of the fights, one of the fighters that won? He even said, oh, I had an Achilles. I had a problem. I just played through it. There's guys fighting hurt all the time. But McGregor's injury was so serious. Look, why did he go for the big kick? That's not something you would expect from a guy making a comeback. Now, I'm just speculating, but that was interesting that he went for a knockout fast. McGregor was trying to get a knockout. We're going back to YouTube. We're live on YouTube and TikTok, guys, at the same time. We're simulcasting. Real Jason J. Daniel on TikTok, if you want to join. Jason J. Daniel on YouTube. Jag Grandy, go watch his warm-up in the locker room. His leg was perfectly fine. It was that first Van Damme leg kick. Well, okay, sure. But I'll tell you this. When you watch the replay, and I watched it in 4K on my 85-inch TV, I'm staring at it. My TV's against the wall where it's just almost the TV, and I'm standing there like this, and I watched it 60 times. I didn't see his leg shift. I didn't see anything. Look, I'm not an expert, but I didn't see anything pop, anything. They kept trying to push that on me over and over in the replay, and I'm not buying it. So I don't know. I think it's a combination of stuff. But look, you're looking at angles. We're looking at angles. We're looking at lighting. We're not there. It's so hard to really tell when it comes to something in the octagon. Those cameras are far away, but the lighting, it's just tough. So maybe there was movement and everybody saw it there, but us, I don't know, man. Gilbert Living, also notice how McGregor used his left leg to leap and also used that same leg for the kick attempt. Well, on the first kick, that was the left leg. And yeah, I'm not sure if he ever leapt off that one, but it seemed like he was leaping off the right one, but I see what you're saying. Let's see. He has a heist to take our money. Totally. He stumbled on the knee when he was taking his shoes off. Beta Mark, we just talked about that. It looked really weird. He lost focus. You know, he was walking in very focused, staring at the camera, and then when he took his shoes off, it looked like he lost his balance, and I just thought there was too much activity, but he lost focus, and I noticed it, right? I think we all noticed it, but we overlooked it. Clearly, he was hurt. Who knows? Maybe he had a freak injury taking his shoes off. Come on, things happen. Guys, there's so much stress and tension you put on a body. There's also weight cuts that are done the day before, so you never know what's going to happen in the octagon. Javid bin Ali on pinned on TikTok. Thank you. He went to a treatment center this week. That's speculation. I don't know if that really means anything. Do you mean treatment on his leg? Look, you could be right. I mean, clearly he was not healthy. On YouTube, thanks for watching on YouTube. Mandrew, 1983. I think he threw the fight. It's possible. It's possible. You know, anything's possible, man. Max Holloway made a lot of money. And as you know, there was it Polymarket or something There was a bet that was placed earlier, right before the fight. They made a thing of it. Whoever won that bet won more than like a couple of million. Beta Mark on TikTok. It was like Ronda entering the fight, carrying a concussion into the fight. 100%. 100%. Fighters will get hurt before the fight. They'll get hurt in camp, and they're not going to cancel a fight when there's all this. I mean, who knows what McGregor made? I mean, I'm just guessing more than $5 million. I'm guessing, right? So you're not walking away from that. Sure, there's a payment if you cancel the fight, but you're not making all that money. You do get paid for your time and all that. And there is insurance when it comes to getting injured in camp. They are insured, but you're not going to get that kind of money. It's just, there's too much there's too many factors to go, this was normal. It did not look normal to me, man. And speaking of Ronda's concussion, that's a historic moment in UFC history where somebody didn't talk about a major injury that would have canceled the fight. Clearly, he wasn't fit to fight. Clearly. We've got folks on YouTube. Thanks for queuing up. I can see your comments. We've got Desiree in the chat. Got us to the chat. Thank you guys for keeping it clean on TikTok. We want to keep it clean because that's just going to be better for everybody. Nate on TikTok. Injury or not, Conor looked old and slow. LOL, he would have gotten murdered. I agree with you. He did look pretty old and slow. He did. His face looked bloated. And when they were showing the highlights of 10 years ago or 13 years ago, the Holloway, the first fight, I just was getting kind of depressed going, this is not what we're going to see tonight. I didn't think we were going to see a good fight. I thought we were going to see an interesting fight. I thought we were going to see ground and pound. I thought we were going to see what you see with older guys, a bunch of jiu-jitsu, and then a submission. Gabe said, McGregor made $15 million, Max made $5 million. Okay, thank you. I didn't know that. I'll take your word for it. There you go. It's hard to walk away from $15 million, but I'll say this. McGregor is a guy that can hype himself up into anything. He believes he can do the impossible. He is the greatest as far as marketer, the most well-known other than John Jones and some other guys, but one of the greatest MMA fighters in history, probably the greatest. When you look at his accomplishments, his ticket sales, all the things that goes with that, just he's had some epic fights, some epic knockouts. Jay says, Khabib took that man's spirit. Maybe. The Khabib fight that was one hell of a fight, right? And that was a crazy fight. And, we know how that went down. So you're right. Look, Khabib will always haunt him. By the way, guys, we are on TikTok and YouTube simulcasting. We're in triple digits on TikTok. Thank you guys for watching. We have viewers on YouTube live. Let's see here. Jay Grandy on YouTube. Bro, I just don't get why people would say it was rigged. I mean, he had a guaranteed $30 million just to show. Would a polymarket bet surpass what he was already earning? Well, look, as far as rigged is concerned, this is how you look at rigged. One, you look at what you saw. You explain to me how that makes sense. Nothing makes sense, what we saw. You can say he got hurt on the kick. I don't believe it. You can say he had a pre-existing injury. I believe that. So back to what I said earlier, if you're joining late, if you get in the chat, chat's going off. I have to turn that alarm off. Sorry, guys, if you can hear it. There's an alarm on my laptop. If you get into the octagon and you're injured and you don't tell anybody else you're injured, that's rigged. So there's different ways to say a fight is rigged. Fixed versus rigged, two different things. Rigged is when there's a factor involved that other people do not know, and it's kind of a smoke and mirrors. Let's say Conor had survived a whole round and got submitted, choked out, and we never knew about the injury. He takes it to the ground. What if that kick lands and it's a home run? Look, Conor's got power, right? Drake lost $1 million, Michelangelo said. He totally did. Drake's bets are hilarious, man. I should have known Conor was going to lose. Whoever Drake bets on, they totally lose. So back to what I'm saying. I lost my train of thought, but the chat is so cool right now. So many good things. My point is that rigged is different than fixed. If you go in with a pre-existing injury, that's rigged, in my opinion. I'm going to try to turn off this chat sound here. Cool. I think I got it. Cool. I think it's muted, hopefully. Yeah, cool. Cool. Let's see here. So, boy binary, thanks for joining us on TikTok. Hell, I think I should get a piece of the purse for watching that grab. They should pay us back. You're right. I want a refund. No, wait. The fight was amazing. The fights were amazing. Not that fight. Like, for example, King Green coming back on McKenna. I mean, that was amazing. That was crazy. Now, I thought that fight, on the 1 second, I'm like, wait a second, right? I thought, what? The ref, what? But after thinking about it, I thought there's no way the ref would have seen the clock in that moment. So, yeah, he made a comeback in the first round by 1 second. That was insane. That was an amazing fight. So, it seemed like how about the heavyweights? Paddy's fight was pretty dope. Now, I will say this with the Paddy fight. I will say this. I watched it 3 times. I rewound it and was like, man, that didn't look like he was fighting back and went right. It looked like that guy went into a submission real fast, right? St-Denis is better than that. I was really surprised he got Darce choked that fast. That was weird to me. So I was already feeling weird about that. And then the next fight was just even weirder. Gabe on TikTok. They should, let's see, Metalhead, you seen Gable Steveson. Are you saying, did I see it? Yes, I watched that one. That was a dope fight, man. That was a great fight. A lot of those fights were great. By the way, King Green and Paddy got the fights of the night. They did 2 awards on that. Gabe, on TikTok, they should have had Paddy versus Max. Both weren't touched and called each other out. Max is a little older. He's a veteran, of course, but I think Paddy would smoke him. I don't know if you'd see that matchup, but I don't know, maybe. It's really tough when you get these older cats. They really try to balance that fight. The truth is, when you have a very young guy and you have an older guy, it's really hard for that older guy to make that happen. Even though they're a legend, it's just difficult. On YouTube, we've got Mandrew. What's up? I think he had the injury before and did a stupid move to throw it. Well, he went for the home run. That's what happened. He went for a home run, which was a really dope kick. It just didn't seem like it had any chance to connect. My bandana's getting loose. Sorry about that, guys. And if it connected, well, I try to keep it on, but because it helps me with my vibe. But if he had connected, it might have been a different story. But I didn't think it had a chance. Trent Rogue, my client is who made the 100K line. Him in a circle. Really? Okay. Well, I don't believe you, but thanks for the fantasy. If it was your client, DM me. I want to know some proof, baby, but I don't believe you. But thanks for watching. I'm just being honest. Jackson said, should have stayed patient like in the Aldo match, right? Yeah, it's and it's interesting you brought up Aldo. What's interesting about McGregor is that we're talking about when we talk about McGregor, we talk about the past. It's all about the past for McGregor for 5 years. For 5 years, let's be honest, McGregor he was indicted for a assault charge. There's certain words I can't say on YouTube. Indicted for assault. He was the assault against a woman. It was a civil, very serious. He lost the civil trial, very serious charge. He's had all sorts of coke issues and booze issues. I mean, his last 5 years have been an absolute mess. There's also, he was taking HGH as well. When he was out of the fighting circuit. Did you see Roadhouse? I thought he was great in Roadhouse, by the way. Did you see how rocked out and large he was in Roadhouse? And then now when he dropped weight, he did not look that large. Like, I think he was obviously on HGH. So there's been a lot that's gone on with Conor's body, his mind, and his spirit, and his personal life over the last 5 years. All that affects the dude. 5 years is a whole nother world, man. We are triple digits on TikTok. Chris said Conor got paid. That's all he wanted to care about. Sure, I appreciate that. Look, I would get paid too, and I'm not saying I wouldn't have done it too. Look, there's a lot of pressure. Maybe he got hurt last week. Maybe he got hurt 2 weeks ago in training camp. There's a lot of pressure on guys like that to perform. Look, he is legendary, and now he has a legendary failure. Who knows? Maybe he'll come back, but I doubt it. First of all, he has to be cleared to fight again, which would be difficult. We'll talk about that timeline, but let me just jump into YouTube again. Jay Grandy, I don't believe that guy either. Yeah, I know, right? Dude, people say anything. Now, I will say this. By the way, guys, we're simulcasting on TikTok and we're simulcasting on YouTube. Thank you so much. We're triple digits on TikTok. You guys are animals. Guys on YouTube, thank you for watching live. The YouTube crowd will probably show up in the morning. I'm not going that long, but they'll watch the replay. Desiree is the goddess of the chat. The chat is moderated. Thank you guys for being so kind to her. Don't forget the hearts. Thank you for the new subscribers, 8 new subscribers on TikTok. So back to Okay, back to the recovery. Okay, let's say Conor fights again. Now, did you watch the press conference with Dana? Dana said, I don't know what to tell you. It's too early to talk about a trilogy. Max went over to the guys behind the mics and said, I want a trilogy, whatever, all that stuff. That's not happening. I don't think it would. Who would think that Conor could beat Holloway in a trilogy? I don't see that happening. It's not interesting to me. I want to see, look, I'd rather see some of these guys. I'd rather see Paddy, right? I'd rather see King Green. I'd rather see guys, Mo Green, I think, is from The Godfather. I was just watching The Godfather trilogy. That's funny. Little Godfather for you. King Green, I would like to see that. How about that cat, the heavyweight, man? Who was that? That was a crazy fight. Which one was that? Was that Steveson? Oh, yeah, Gable, we haven't even talked about him. He is an amazing fighter. When I saw that, I've not really watched him fight. He's 4-0 now. It's his first UFC fight. He is a beast. I got to tell you, there's nothing not amazing about that guy. That's what I want to see. Give him a tough fight. There's many, many other fighters that we can get in. We don't need McGregor anymore. I'm sorry. My point is, though, on the comeback on McGregor, it's going to be, he has to get medically cleared. It'll be a year. Then it'll be another fight. We're looking at, if he fights again, it's 2028. Nobody wants that. Red Beard on TikTok. Conor was off for years. Body been through hells. Mine wants it, but the thing is like I said earlier, McGregor's just been mixed up in the head. Then he's a Christian. No disrespect to that. But now he's like, Jesus saved me because, of all the drama in my life. And he was a cokehead and all this crazy stuff. Now he's clean and sober, and now he's not any fun to watch. So maybe he should just get demonic again. That's what we need. More demonic McGregor. Let's see here. Now, Desiree's having to mute some of you guys in the chat. Guys, be chill in the chat. If you want to attack me personally or be mean like that, it's not going to do you any good. And the more you're muted, you will get TikTok will take your account down. You didn't know that, did you? But the more you go into a live and you're moderated, that counts against you as strikes. Everyone on TikTok has a count. Keep that in mind. Wahoo Wah says Steveson does look great, but I missed that. Sorry, man. What do you mean he's not fun to watch? Colin, Conor's not fun to watch now. Did you have fun tonight? I don't want to watch McGregor anymore. I don't want to watch him anymore. He gave me his swagger. He gave me I watched like 15 interviews with the guy. He gave me the buzz before. He's not fun to watch, dude. He hasn't been fun for 5 years. Steveson does look great. Thanks, Desiree, but he's fought bums. It's time for legit. Was that a bum he fought tonight? I'm going to ask you a question. Was that a bum? Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so, but because that guy fought back, okay? Let's see here. Ellison fought back. That was a good fight. Ellison fought well. So he's not a bum. And I agree with you in the sense that let's get him somebody stronger. Let's get him a name. Look, we're both watching that next fight that he does. Let's see. Kavanaugh versus Royale was fight of the night, in my opinion. Great showing. Gabe, I can't argue with you. I got to say, there was probably like 5 fights of the night. Now, when I was trying to think about fight of the night, if I was going to award it, because I was so psyched, my pick was Steveson Ellison. That was my pick for fight of the night. But you could have picked any fight. There were so many good fights. Guys were just getting drilled. It was a great night for knockouts. The submissions were really dope. It was electric. I got to say, look, I haven't had that much fun in a while watching UFC. Let's see here. Let's go back to YouTube real fast. Jay Grandy, with his legs, could he stand a chance of boxing? You're talking about Conor? No, there's no way in hell. He has a rod in his, first of all, he has a rod in his left leg. He had to have that surgically repaired. He got, he probably got stem cells. I know he was doing HGH to help with the leg. It was documented. Guys, thank you for the follows, man, on TikTok. So I don't, his legs look bad to me. So I don't look, when it's the fight game, it's what have you done for me lately? And what I saw was a joke. I would not watch another McGregor fight. I would watch the card, but when McGregor came up, I would go get a beer and go, okay, whatever, go to the bathroom. I would not expect that McGregor's going to fight in the future, and if he did, I don't think it would be that good. Let's see here. Guys, thanks for the gifts. Almost 15,000 hearts on TikTok. It's a late night, but look, we're all just trying to figure this out. I'm here to walk you through it. I'm here to help you through it. I've been watching UFC for 20 years, and I actually was a boxer when I was younger, and I trained in Sacramento at Uriah Faber's gym. I hung out with a lot of those guys. I saw a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff. I'm not telling you I was any good, okay? But I did spar with some up-and-coming guys, and they destroyed me. I was not that good. I was able to learn that I need to stop doing this by seeing how good those guys were. You think this is easy? It's another level to get in there and do what these guys do. It's another level. You have no idea unless you've been in the game. I'm just saying I have experience, not saying I'm anything good, but I do have a little insight. I've hung out with some of these guys. I kind of know some of these things behind the scenes. Jackson, yeah, honestly, TikTok. Honestly, he has become better mentally person, Conor, but he is still bad, but just he can't fight. Yeah, he's a badass. Look, McGregor, look, honestly, I loved Roadhouse. I think he's in Roadhouse too. He was so good in Roadhouse. I was shocked at how good he was in Roadhouse. I was like, I want a Roadhouse too. McGregor was badass. I think it's time to transition to fight movies. Honestly, I think it's time to go action movies. Dude, I'd watch McGregor be an action hero. I would. Even though he's kind of a bad guy and he's done a lot of bad shit to people, I'd love to watch him as an action hero. Good man. Let's get to Tracy Cortez. What do you think about her? Surge 209. Serge, does that mean you're in the San Joaquin 209? Because I'm from the San Joaquin, and baby, San Joaquin knows MMA. That is the best place to watch MMA. I used to go watch a lot of amateur fights in Stockton and Sacramento. Every time I go to those fights, there'd be a brawl. It was so cool in the stands. It was so cool. Let's see here. What do I think? I think the Cortez fight was just really good, and I think she's great, man. I love watching that. I love watching that fight, and I'm trying to look at my notes. I had some notes on it. I wish I could tell you more. I'm sorry. There were so many fights, but I dug it. So yeah, that's my answer on that. Jackson, McGregor can do a lot, especially the way he turned his life around. Yeah, he's got a lot to do. Like, he's a businessman. He's got a lot of money. Now, who knows? He's got to pay money in his civil suits. You know, he's got a lot of legal problems. Look, Conor's been in trouble a lot. He was in trouble when he was in his prime in the UFC. He's had drug problems. He's had all sorts of problems. In the press conference earlier, they asked him, it was like yesterday or the day before, they were like, did you fall the victim that all major fighters fall into, famous fighters, money and power and all that? He's like, obviously, I fell away, right? So he had to find God and this was part of his comeback and make amends to a lot of people. Ryan Allison, Vegas should give everyone their money back. He was hurt pre-fight. What the fuck? 100%. That's why my graphic says, was it rigged? I think it was rigged. It was con job McGregor. He was not 100%. So if you don't think it was rigged, then tell me what you saw. Was he really hurt on one kick? That doesn't make sense. And I'll say this. If a guy gets in the octagon, he throws one kick, like Joe Rogan said. He said it happened on the first kick. And then he gets hurt. He's not fit to fight. He's not healthy. I mean, there's certain things that you have to have going for you to qualify to be up to fighting. That just doesn't work. Kale McAllister on TikTok. I don't know how we're going to sleep after tonight. I agree with you. Or this shit, TS. I'm trying to keep my cursing down because YouTube penalizes me. Guys, we're live on YouTube and TikTok at the same time. YouTube's a bigger screen. Jason J. Daniel on YouTube. Yeah, dude, that's why I'm up late doing this with you guys. That was so disappointing, man. That was so disappointing. I was like, what? I couldn't believe it. I was waiting. Look, I was watching this since like 2 o'clock today, my time in California. I've been watching this all day. The fights were incredible. We were all amped up. I feel bad for all those dummies that flew out from Ireland. They were featuring a lot of those on the show earlier before the fights, and I was like, man, I hope this is a good fight for those guys. Look, you're going to lose some sleep. They lost a bundle. Miles McDaniel, I just joined. What's your opinion on what's next for Conor? Thanks for joining me on TikTok. We're on triple digits on TikTok. We have gotten 12 new followers. Thank you, guys. Thank you for following me. Guys, we do MMA, WNBA, and we do NFL. So stay tuned to my channel. It's going to be fun. What do I think? I think Conor's cooked. I don't think he's coming back. There's not going to be a trilogy with Holloway. Who would fight McGregor unless they got a guaranteed payday? Holloway looked extremely happy and kept trying to say it was great. It's bullshit. It's a mess. You never want a 69 second loss in the first round of your main event because a guy DQ'd himself or it was a no contest or whatever. I guess it was a loss because Holloway got the win. It wasn't a DQ. I think action movies or something, I think, more like media he's going to do. I just don't think anyone would buy another fight, meaning like believe in another fight or purchase another fight. Think about this. He's got to be medically cleared to fight again. His rehab would take at least a year. And then you want to talk about setting up a fight and hyping it. That takes a year. If he comes back as 2028, then that would be technically another couple of years. I don't count this as a real fight. It's not a fight. He wasn't a fight. So I would say that's a 7 to 8 year layoff. You tell me. Would you think he's can be effective? So I think he's cooked. I don't see how he's not cooked. I'd love for him to come back. I was excited. Look, I'm all about McGregor. I'm disappointed, but I was more disappointed that I got fooled into watching this fight. Jackson on TikTok, everyone would have hated McGregor if he forfeited again. Well, I mean, I think yes, I guess in a twisted way, this was better than him not showing up. That would have been harder for him to shake. So he showed up and he took an injury loss. So what are you gonna do? Sorry guys, I'm parched. Ryan on TikTok, it would have been on a streaming service. I would not pay. I would not pay to watch him. I feel that. I have had Paramount Plus forever, or Paramount forever. So when they added the UFC to it, because I also have it's like $70 UFC annual package. I have the app. I can watch you can watch all the fights. It's amazing. If you are a fight fan, I recommend buy the annual. And if you just have an itch to watch a fight and you got free time, you can watch any UFC that ever happened. It's so cool. So I'm glad it was streaming and I didn't pay $80 for it. I would have been so angry. Look, you know what I would have done? I would ask for my money back. I would have totally called whatever did the pay-per-view, UFC, and I would have called my bank and said, I guess I can't do that because not a thing about it. The fights were all really dope, so I'll take that back. I'm just talking out of my empty head right now. I wouldn't have asked my money back because we're forgetting, at least I am, that there was a great fight card. Like, for example, Stevenson's fight. The Green fight was incredible. The comeback. Paddy's fight was interesting. I really was like, what? St-Denis rolled over into a submission like that and didn't look like he was really fighting. That was weird to me. Now, after the McGregor fight, I was prepared to come on live and say that one was rigged because I didn't feel good about that. But whatever. Paddy's a good fighter. And look, have you ever been choked like that? I have. I've rolled around. I'm not saying I'm anything special. I'm saying I've been. It's another level of being choked. So I don't want to be that guy because I don't know what I'm talking about. But it didn't look good to me. But still, that was a really fun fight. Mario and Corey was a good fight. That was a great fight, actually. So I was really, really impressed with this card. Guys, we're in triple digits on TikTok. We're live on YouTube and TikTok simulcasting. Guys on YouTube, I can see you in the chat. Jump in. I'm monitoring that. Desiree is our moderator on the chat on TikTok. Be nice to her. She's a nice girl. This fight, Ryan says, this fight reminded me of Buster Douglas and also Peter McNeely. That's funny. It's interesting. You're obviously a guy who's lived a little like me. Was it Frank Bruno that took the hit when Mike Tyson, the night Tupac got shot? There's a little history for you. That's what I thought of. I thought of Frank. Was it Frank Bruno? Because he went down with a knee. That was at like 35 seconds. Tyson clipped him, and then Bruno's knee went out, and and then later on Tupac died. I'm sorry. That was Boomer. Tupac died. Does that sound more gangster? Tupac not died, but got shot. I'll never forget that night. Yes, I was alive when that happened. So, yeah, I thought about the Tyson stuff because, yeah. So, McNeely, the fights you named off were interesting. Buster Douglas. By the way, there's an incredible documentary on Buster Douglas on ESPN. You must watch it. It will change your life. Gabe, thanks for coming back. PSD had no reason to grapple with Paddy. Very sus. I agree with that. Thank you, Gabe. See, I'm not crazy. That was weird to me. He went right into a choke. What? That's what I told myself. I was like, what? Paddy's going to smoke him. I said, Paddy's going to smoke him. And he totally did. Now, it looked like he rolled around. I watched that 3 times. I rewound it. He rolled around. Looked like, I don't know. It just looked like to me that he gave up and now who knows? Maybe he got into the choke and was like, there's no way out. He struggled. And maybe it was legit. But look, Paddy's a great fighter. I don't have any reason to think that would have been a setup. It was just, you're right, it was weird. Connor Peters, 28 on TikTok. McGregor just needed a bag. He got a bag. Somebody told us earlier he got 15 milli for that. I wouldn't doubt it. Let's see here. Steveson. We read that about Steveson. Let me catch up here. There's 184 messages I got to catch up on. I can see the chat transparently. It's cool. I've got these windows, and if I don't follow the chat, the messages stack up. 182 messages. Let's see here. Jackson. Okay, you guys are talking amongst yourselves. Let's see here. Desiree, by the way, thank you. You're killing it on the chat. Thank you. Guys, we're in double digits on TikTok. It's a late night. We have 17 new followers on TikTok. Thank you, guys. We do NFL, we do basketball and UFC, and we have a cool fantasy league that you guys can join if you want to do that. Guys, we have a YouTube chat. I'm monitoring that, but TikTok's hot right now. Let's see here. McGregor didn't even look confident. Is that Slade? Slade with a money symbol, which I dig that, man. McGregor looked fierce to me, but it's hard to say. It's hard to say when you're that old and you're getting in after 5 years. Now, Holloway's an older guy too, but Holloway has records. He's historic. What was it? Top 4. He's top 4 in wins in UFC history. So it was a great matchup. Two older guys. It's another fight. Their first fight, but was 13 years ago, but it was a good fight. So there was all these great things to it. Look, I was buying it. Oz 77. I heard a rumor Conor's headed back to dominate Cage Wars. you are I don't know if you were trying to joke with me, but that was very funny. By the way, that's where he started, guys. If you don't know the history, McGregor started out in just amateur fights like everybody else. That's why his story is one of the greatest sports stories in history, because you can go on the UFC app and you can watch every professional fight. And when he was fighting in like amateur leagues, and McGregor was a little tough cat, and then he started to just win and win and win. Winning does a lot for you. And so anyway, that comment was funny. Desiree, you're killing it. Wahoo, what's up, baby? How about Sophie Cunningham? That's right, Sophie was there. Did you see that? I almost first of all, I lost my SHIT, and then I said, oh my God, Sophie, she looks hot, man. Sophie, and then she sits down with the ring girls. She's so hot. There's nothing Sophie Cunningham can't do that I won't love. Nothing she can sell I won't buy. I am big on Sophie. That was a lot of fun. Hey, that just shows you. The Indiana Fever are a billion-dollar brand. Sophie Cunningham is so famous. That was a lot of fun. Wahoo knows exactly how to make me happy. Thank you, Wahoo. Guys, we're in double digits on TikTok. Adrian Miller, that was the worst main event you've ever seen. Well, you know what? It's pretty close. I got to tell you, that's a really great comment, because I've seen a lot of bad main events because I've watched MMA for a long time, just like you, and I've watched a lot of boxing. That was pretty bad. I can't think of one that was that bad in a long time that was such a letdown. Let's see here. Skip Frank. I'm getting a message from my okay, so I'm getting a message from my laptop. Tells me there's a lot of traffic, so sorry about that. We'll go into the 15 minutes. You guys are great. If the live bumps a little bit, I got a message from TikTok saying look, it's a hot traffic night. Everybody's talking about this. So if it bumps, it's not me, guys. Adrian Miller. Oh, that's worst main event. Yeah, it was terrible. You're right. It was so bad that we're thinking about really old fights that we're like comparing it to. But look, when you have an older fighter like this, two old fighters, when you have an older fighter like McGregor, older as far as the fight game, you're going to get bad main events. Like, a lot of people thought this was a possibility that it was going to be a really terrible first round. I actually thought it was going to be a lay and pray where McGregor was going to try to take him to the ground, even though McGregor's game, now he's fully balanced, the old McGregor, fully balanced, and his striking game is just incredible. But who knows what you're going to get after 5 years. So I really thought it was going to be McGregor rolling around and then a bad first round, McGregor loses. That's what I thought. But he made his comeback. The real Christopher, thank you. I can't see the full name. MMA Mount Rushmore. Oh, good question. John Jones, Demetrius, Mighty Mouse, Matt Hughes. Wow, there's it's really hard, my friend, on that one, because there's so many. I guess the qualifications are, is it wins, right? Is it branding power? Is it epic fights? Now I can't see all of your comment because big comments I can't quite see. But did you say you said Matt Hughes? And also weight classes are different. I mean, Anderson Silva, the Spider, right there. You miss Anderson. He's got to be up there. Chuck Liddell. So there's the two people. Randy Couture. So right there, it's a big Mount Rushmore. There's just a lot of guys that you can put on that. Let's see here. Someone compared this fight to the Paul fight, Forever Swifty. I can see, I can see that being kind of a spectacle. Like the Mike Tyson Paul fight was a spectacle, but I mean, that was at least entertaining. Let's see here. Jackson, you can say he's not that old, but Body can't take 18 years of fighting. Dude, I'm when I say old in years, I'm not saying he's 50. But yeah, look, there's a lot of wear and tear on these cats. In fact, we haven't talked about Cody No Love. Speaking of attrition, Cody No Love got his lights put out, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that guys that age get dinged so many times that it's easy to put them out. Now he took 3 or 4 shots, right? And then that bell, he got a temple shot, and then after that was the jaw, that just lights out. His eyes were wide open, right? So yeah, older guys go down faster. Older bodies, these things happen. I just think this had some kind of a rigged principle. I think there was something we didn't know. I'm going to jump to YouTube. Thanks, YouTube chat is hopping again. Ring chasing. I like that. Chasing a ring. I'm crushed, bro. Even if he got his ass beat, ring chase. I know, right? It would have been much better for him to at least have had a couple of minutes in round 1 and got a look. Maybe McGregor was hoping for like a submission. He gets submitted or something, right? Kind of save face. But it was so disappointing. For those of you who may not have watched it or you're just jumping on it, what are these guys talking about? It was such a disappointing moment. It was shock. What? No, you couldn't figure out what's going on. And I hate controversies like that where you can't tell what's happening. The announcers didn't know. I don't even think the ref knew. And then finally, Conor was like, he waved it off. It's like, what? So essentially, it was an injury, you submit yourself an injury submission. It was so confusing. So it's technically a win for Holloway because it wasn't a DQ or anything like that. And it was an injury that occurred in the octagon. So a medical loss. You guys are great. Thanks for the gifts. So far, Mark Beta's given gifts. And Wahoo, thank you. Desiree, thank you on TikTok. Thank you guys for watching on YouTube. If you're watching this replay, I'm on TikTok and YouTube simulcasting. We're in double digits on TikTok. Thank you. We were in triple digits, but I know it's late. Guys, thanks for hanging in there. We'll go another 10 minutes or so. Jackson, did Whitaker break that one guy's jaw? Great question. I watched the press conference. That was brutal. I watched the press conference with Dana. I didn't get that far because I needed to jump on with you guys. I don't know. Maybe somebody can look up the medical on that, but I'll try to look it up right now. Let's see here. And then before we go, I'll do a quick breakdown of all the fights really fast. He might be washed, not rigged. Kevin Dog, he might be washed, not rigged. Well, okay, I agree with washed. I've already said that. I don't think he's coming back. I don't see how he come back from that. If he comes back, it's a Jake Paul fight. Honestly, that's what because I mean, look, you don't have to fight in a Jake Paul fight and you make a lot of money. Who wouldn't want that, right? So I think what we're speculating is that he was hurt before he got in, and that's rigged. If there's something that's going to affect the fight and you go into the fight anyway, it's a material fact. That's rigging. It's not fixing, it's rigging. Paddy the Baddy had best fight. Sammy B, can't argue with that, but it was a weird submission that was fast. I don't now. Dana White did give him a performance bonus, so he agrees with you. But I think I keep saying Mo Green from The Godfather. King Green, sorry. I was watching The Godfather trilogy. I watched it 4 times last week. I know. That's what I do with my free time. I got to find some chicks. That's never a problem. But anyway, Whitaker was a good fight. The Whitaker fight was great. That ending was crazy. Gable Steveson, he's a monster. I can't even talk enough about that. I was so impressed with that. But Paddy, he's so much fun. It's a fun fight with Paddy. I like his fights. Conor McPayday, 100% Allen. I like Conor Conjob McGregor. Con me McGregor. How about that one? Let's see. Whitaker is fast, low Low key, 100%. Well, Whitaker took his time, but man, you're right. That strike to the jaw was boom, lightning. That was the replay slowed it down, but when you saw it in retime, it was like pow. And that's why a veteran like that, like they were saying earlier, that Whitaker could be the best fighter out of Australia ever. So there's that. Let's see here. Godfather movie is better than Chicks. I got plenty of streaming. I got plenty of chicks, trust me. But I do need to work on my chick game, honestly. I've been streaming so much in the last 5 months. What is this life? Braden Taylor, was it rigged? Replayed it 4 times his legs, the F word. I can't say that word because I'll get banned. I disagree with you. I watched it 6 times myself. I couldn't see the movement in the leg. Joe Rogan was trying to talk me into it, but here's the thing with what Rogan said. I'm not disrespecting you. I just don't agree. And then Ryan said this tarnishes his legacy. I don't think so. I don't think anyone expected a good fight. Look, if you want to talk about tarnishing his legacy, how about all the cocaine and the assault charges and that would be more of a tarnish of a legacy, his personal life. But anyway, back to Rogan. Rogan's like, he told the guys in the replay the first kick, which is the very first move of the fight. And he said Conor got hurt on the first move. Well, then how did he get up and do another kick? Then how did he get up and do a punch? No, I don't believe that. I think if he got hurt, it was on the third one or maybe the second one, but he waved off after the third. So if he was that hurt, he gets up twice. I don't agree with that. Let's see here. Forever a Swiftie, if you're not careful with your language and behavior, you'll get booted. Yes, here's the thing, guys. Now I can appreciate the F word in the last context. That's how I would talk. But you guys have to be careful on TikTok because too much language, or if TikTok misunderstands what you're saying, it'll shut our live down. But thank you guys. Happy for Paddy. He's a great fighter. I agree with that. He's great. I want to see him keep fighting. He's a lot of fun. 2 of my favorites, T says, 2 of my favorite fighters hate how it ended though. Me too. Holloway was excited though. He was pretty stoked. He was doing all his interviews. It's great. Let's do it again. Oh yeah, you didn't get touched. How about that? How about you wake up and go to work and you make $5 million and you didn't get touched when your job is to get touched? That's a good night for him. He should just sit back, have a glass of champagne and say, what is this life? Guys, thanks for watching. Thank you for subscribing. By the way, on YouTube, we had a few subscribers, and one person on YouTube in the chat said, well, explain to me about something. They said, I'm subscribing. Thank you. Guys, 18 new followers on TikTok. Thank you. We don't do a lot of mixed martial arts. We do a lot of basketball and UFC. And NFL. But the next fight, Usman, I think, we're doing that one. We'll be doing the next UFC. We're going live. Jackson, I think he tweaked it on the first one and his knee got worse. Maybe that's right, but I don't think he was so hurt on the first one he couldn't do 2 more. Come on, right? So I think Rogan was stretching, but I appreciate that. Rogan had to try to make it happen, okay? I can appreciate that. So let's see. I have to do a little thing on TikTok. Whenever sometimes if I'm not touching my laptop, there we go. The interface will tell me that there's no activity and it's going to end my live, so I had to do a little puzzle. It's weird. T says, respect to Holloway for trying to tell the ref he was injured. Yeah, there was a lot of good sportsmanship there. And I guess did you watch the interview after? I was walking in and out of my office preparing for this because my big TV's in the front room, but I think he was saying something to the fact that McGregor on the ground was saying, fight me, like him. And Holloway was like, you're fucking, sorry. Holloway was like, you're hurt, baby. There was also another moment. What fight was it? I forget which one it was, where a guy had his bell rung. He was put out. He was looking towards the ground, and then his opponent raised his fist and was like waiting because he wanted the ref to call the fight. He didn't want to deliver another blow in that vulnerable position. So there was a lot of great sportsmanship going on. Let's see here. Good day, G-Day. Does that mean you're down under? You didn't see him limping pre-fight before he walked into the ring? Are you going to say the shoe thing? Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. I noticed it, but I thought he kind of tripped over his shoe and that people were walking towards him. There's camera people. We all think the cameras are just like part of this thing, which they are, but they're very big and in your face. So I kind of thought maybe it was like too many people in that corner. I noticed it, but I looked past it. Just B says, TikTok, Jake Paul Jr. I agree with that. That was, well, at least Jake Paul will give you a fake fight. No, look, I got to say, Jake Paul, I was really impressed with Jake Paul when he got his jaw broken in 2 places by a guy he had no business fighting. Much respect for him. That changed everything for me because I was like, fuck, sorry, I got to be better by my cursing. I'm going to get my stuff pulled. I was like, I don't care about, Jake Paul has a great life. He has all these babes, cool. I had much respect. But as far as his fighting, I didn't have a lot of respect for it. But I now do have a lot of respect because, it took a lot of courage to get in there and then get his jaw broken in 2 places, which I'm going to tell you this, that's not going to heal quickly. It's been a long time since that happened. It feels like forever. But look, he's getting to the point where he's taking abuse to his body or damage is a better word, to where he's going to be living with that for a while. So I do not envy that shot he took to the chin. But look, he made millions. So thanks for sharing the live. You guys are dope, man. Thank you. We're double digits on TikTok. We wanted to go late for you. I love mixed martial arts. I have a history with it. I love UFC. I love being a part of it. So I just thought it would be great to stream with you guys tonight. Let's see here. Guys, be careful. Here we go. We have Desiree's the goddess of the chat. She will mute you. There's a guy on here called Forever MMA and gets muted. Come on. There's no excuse for somebody who calls themselves an MMA fan to come on my live and say something that's going to get yourself muted. Just grow up. It's not that big of a deal. If you don't like what I'm saying, don't get yourself muted. The more you get yourself muted in lives, it counts against your TikTok score. Don't do that. It's no point. If you disagree with me, just say you disagree. Let's grow up. Class 10. It would be crazy if Conor wants a rematch. Like, why? Well, it would be crazy and no one would buy it. It would be, the talk on the rematch would be like, who's watching this shit? Dana White's a smart guy. He's not doing a rematch with Conor. He's not. Now, I would see this, since Dana's doing boxing now and trying to make that a thing, I could see Dana moving Conor to boxing maybe and doing some exhibition, but it just depends on his sticks. His sticks are really screwed up. Jackson, okay, you're doing your thing. I love it. You guys, thank you for the follows, guys. Appreciate that. Much appreciated. I know to follow someone means a lot, so I don't take it for granted. We're in double digits on TikTok. Guys, we're over an hour, but we'll go, since it's a very busy time right now online. Everybody's just trying to, let's just stay on a little bit. It's a lot of fun. Jackson wanted a fair fight. Conor looked drunk, bro. Brycey Weissy, Conor looked drunk. Maybe. Dude, you don't know what these cats are taking. But the thing is I don't know if I know that everything else won't pass because you got a drug test, but maybe he didn't care. I don't know. I don't think you can fight. It would come up in your drug test, but I don't know. Maybe it's just a pee test. Alcohol doesn't come up in a pee test. I know that sounds ignorant to say that, but I never thought about that. But I don't know. Maybe he was drunk. I would have been, look, if I had to go fight Holloway and I knew my sticks were messed up, I'd be drinking too. He might have been on painkillers. You never know, right? He might have been on pain. Travis Sinpal on TikTok. It's weird. I don't really like Conor, but I wanted a good fight, at least to fight. I agree with that. A lot of people did. A lot of people were willing to overlook Conor McGregor's personal life that's really tragic. Think about how excited we were. Think about how they packed that arena. Think about how everybody put aside all of what he's been doing for 5 years, and they were buying into the new improved Christian Conor McGregor. It was working. He just didn't have the body to deliver. Let's see here. You guys are talking amongst yourselves. I love it. Eric with an A. Riskiest opening move to expose himself with a knee injury on a weakened leg. So are you saying that you believe that it was rigged in the sense that he knew that he had to go for a home run kick? Or are you saying that it's that we're over speculating by saying that he was hurt when he threw that kick? I'm a little lost on your point, but I can go with it either way. I think either way you're agreeing there might have been a pre-existing injury. I don't know. It just seems suspect. I'll say this. He was going for a home run kick. That I'm not able to tell you. It's been 5 years, but I can't necessarily tell you that's his game, right? Or that's not his game to do a kick, because certain guys have certain strategies. He could have been doing something that was not really familiar to what his game normally is, but it's been 5 years. So everything you see with the guy is new. We haven't seen him fight in a lot. He's a different body. It's a different person. So it was an interesting home run kick. Maybe he'll follow Brock's footsteps to the WWE, Jimmy says. Well, McGregor's too small for that. He's too small for that. And the truth is, he's pretty big. He's bigger than any. Tell me a WWE guy that's bigger than Conor McGregor. That's fighting right now. Or not fighting, but wrestling right now. I can't really think it. Like, there's classic guys, obviously, but I don't think he could coexist right now with WWE. But it's interesting. I mean, people would go see him wrestle, but he's so undersized. For that. Conor wouldn't fake that, though. He has too much pride for that. Zeke, I don't think he faked it. I think he went in with a pre-existing injury and thought he could power his way through it, or just thought, well, let's just what are we going to do? What else am I going to do, right? I'm in this situation. Let's rock, CM Punk, Metalhead. Okay, Metalhead is a wrestling expert, so I'll give you that. CM Punk. I'm not going to argue that because you know wrestling better than me. I'm not a big wrestling guy, so I'll work with you. CM Punk, fair enough. Okay, so if you put McGregor in the WWE and he took on big names like that, that would be impressive. Look, if McGregor went to WWE, I'd be watching it religiously. So he could do that. Ryan, maybe Conor McGregor. Oh, I'm sorry. Be a manager. Ryan says, no, he just needs to be a manager. Fair enough. Forever Swifty said, hey, I love WWE. No doubt. You do look like a Desiree. You fit the mold of a WWE. I know that was gonna be. You're gonna be DMing me about that forever. Monkey D. McGregor is probably in debt and had to take a dive. Well, he's in debt. He's in debt. I mean, he's bleeding money. It's pretty clear that you would do that when you're bleeding money. They said Proper 12. He had to sell it. That started tanking. By the way, I love that whiskey. Proper 12 is one of my favorite whiskeys. And then obviously his legal battles were pretty tremendous, but he's doing movies. He did Roadhouse. They did Roadhouse 2. He's in that one. It hasn't been released yet. So I think he could go action. So, I mean, he's hurt. I think he's hurting for money. His empire needs money, and he'll probably get divorced, I'm assuming, and lose a lot of money in that, because who would stay married to that guy with all the stuff he's pulled? So, yeah, I think dead. When older fighters come back, it's about the money. Forever Swifty, I've been around since Generation X. Are you serious? Wow. By the way, the Hulk Hogan documentary is on Netflix. Is amazing. You got to watch it. I don't know if you've seen it, guys. I was old school wrestling when I was a kid. I just lost track of it over the years. But I think the Vince McMahon documentary is so impressive. Even if you don't like wrestling, it's so well done. It's a crazy documentary. So yes, a Generation X. There you go. Easton, what do you think about Paddy's win in future? I think he's in his prime. I think they need to get him another good fight. I think he's a pay-per-view guy. I think he can really take it to another level. I think he can beat a lot of people in his weight class. I think he's the top. So that submission was gorgeous. You don't see a lot of Darce chokes like that. The crowd loves him. That's another level of energy. I kind of think he's Conor McGregor, like the not evil Conor in a lot of ways. He reminds me of McGregor. A lot of you guys, if you've been following Paddy's career for the last couple of years before he started making it happen, maybe 3 years ago or so, he was on the amateur circuit, and his social media was really powerful and strong, and a lot of his notoriety came from his social media and the fan base. Dar on TikTok. Got to be some black magic where Conor has torn his ACL both times. Some of your comments that are large, I have to click this little thing. Against Max. Good point. I forgot about that. They did mention that, but I forgot. You're right. 13 years ago, he tore it, and was it 14 years ago? And another injury. It's just weird voodoo, man. Sometimes life's voodoo like that. Travis Senpai. I think the worst part is we don't even know what Conor can even do. We have questions. You mean do as far as moving forward, like physically? Yeah. I thought it was interesting that McGregor bounced and left the arena. And when they told Dana White at the press conference, he's like, oh, well, okay. That's not characteristic of McGregor. In losses, he has been gracious in losses. He's lost a few times, that big losses. So for him to tuck tail and run was weird to me. He just wasn't. He's not gonna look. He doesn't want to be asked the question, "Were you hurt before you walked in?" He doesn't want to be answered that. He doesn't want to answer that question because I think we all know the answer. Jackson, I think Paddy will get. Isla winner gets Gacy. Isla and the winner gets Gacy. Yeah, I could see that. I think I could see that with just. Yeah, that would be a great. I like that. I'd pay for that, or at least I'd keep my subscription for that. Peacemaker, is it Pacemaker? Peacemaker, sorry. Why would anyone call themselves Pacemaker? Peacemaker, he will be back. It's not rigged. It was an injury. Okay, well, you're a true believer. None of us are. You're the only one that's like, I think, well, Metalhead loves Conor. So you're the second person to turn on the live. And we had over 350 people watching at one time. So you're the first person that thinks he's coming back. Look, I hope you're right. I'll say this. I would love to see McGregor back. But when I want to clarify rigged versus fixed. People do get confused on that. Rigged is when there's a factor involved that you cover up that is material to the fight and will affect the fight. For example, someone brought up Ronda Rousey's concussion that she got in training camp and ignored it. Holly Rhodes did the same thing. You guys may not have remembered that. She was in a car accident and was concussed before her last fight or the fight before, and she didn't disclose that, but went in and lost. So you could look at that as rigged. If I was betting on that, it's like injury reports with the NFL. If you have guys that are hurt or you think they're hurt and they're not, or guys get cut right before a game or guys get sat, it's tricky. Every league's different. Every sport's different. But my point is, rigged is what this could be because we think he was hurt before. Forever a Swifty's putting up the subscription. Guys, we do a fantasy football league. It's dope. We do hundreds of points. You don't do 50 points or 20 points like these other sissy leagues. You could do 6 to 7 to 1,000 points on a Sunday. You're never out of it. All the way to Monday Night Football. You could win on a last-second kick. It's incredible. Only $2.99 to join our league, the League of Goats. I am Coach Goat. Also on YouTube, guys, my membership just got approved. You guys can buy a membership too. It's $2.99. So YouTube and TikTok, we can all be in the same league. Half of the league is already booked. We're talking months ahead of time. That's how popular it is. But we're opening up openings for new folks. We can even expand the league, and that would even make it a lot more fun. Gil on TikTok. I don't think he's going to recover from this. Been off too much build up for this to happen. 100%. I agree with that. I just don't think he can come back after this. First of all, it would be 2 years. Medical clearance. He would have to rehab. Then there's a training camp. You put a fight together. You have to have the right opponent. It would be tough to pull that off. And then he's 2 years older. It's just tough. The fighters, when they hit a certain point, it's tough. Joe Rogan was very suspect earlier. He was like, everybody else was like, this is incredible. But he's the only one saying, I don't know, man. He knows fights. He knows fighters. Look, fighters take a lot of attrition over the years. It's just tough to say that you could come back after 5 years. Give Conor 10 years, he'll be back. Yeah, kill us 10. I like your name. TikTok. Yeah, I get it. He'll be back. Yeah, and we'd buy it. We'd buy old man McGregor. Look, he needs to do more movies. I would buy a McGregor action series his acting's pretty terrible in Roadhouse. He was terrible, but he was still really great as that character. So I could see him doing action movies if he got the right coaching and he got the right Hollywood setup. Let's jump to YouTube. Guys, thanks for watching on YouTube. We're about to wrap up, but you're squeezing in. I appreciate it. Hosehead on YouTube. Anybody that didn't have Max by KO doesn't need to be gambling on the UFC. Okay. Well, first of all, if you don't know UFC, you shouldn't be gambling, so I agree with that. I would not have picked Max by KO. My thought was, okay, I'll give you my prediction. I said it earlier. I thought Max by submission. I thought Conor was probably going to do just kind of roll over and get subbed. I didn't think he was going to win the fight. I just didn't. But you never know. Conor can just knock you the hell out, right? I mean, you can't sleep on a guy who has all that experience, and he has. I mean, I thought he had power still. We don't know. He went for a home run kick, but I mean, look, that one, whoever that was that put the $990,000 down before the fight even started, like right before, he knew something. He knew what he was doing. But that was kind of, but it was interesting. The lines were weird, right? It was almost like, okay, it was a wash to a certain point. I think Holloway was favored, but the line did decrease a little bit before the fight. I think it started to decrease yesterday. So I don't bet on MMA because I'm in California. I can't use the apps, and I'm a degenerate, so I don't bet anyway. It affects my logic. But I mean, I could see people taking Conor. I could have seen it, you know. Rush would KO Conor. Amazing. Is it Amazon? Amazon dot. I'm just going with your name is kind of crazy. I don't know about that. Look, it's hard to say who would do anything to anybody when it comes to older fighters. And UFC is so unpredictable. Let's see here. Sorry, I hit that. A couple more minutes. Wow, we went 13 more minutes than I said. A wrestling historian. I love that name. Conor McGregor's return was a bigger flop than Moana. Moana. When I read some of your comments, I just say it as I read it. Moana. Look, The Rock coming back is a real. When I saw The Rock dressed up at the premiere as the Moana character, I was like, dude, it's a movie. It's a movie. Or you did the cartoon, and then now you gotta really be the guy. Come on, it's a movie. You're taking it to you're lost in the sauce, baby. Yeah. So back to McGregor. Yes, this was a huge, devastating comeback. We're up late talking about it. People are still trying to figure out what we just watched. I mean, I think it was rigged. I think that's how that. It could a flop is one thing, but a disaster is another. I think this is a PR disaster. But the entire card was insanity. So that was something to be witnessed. It was a great UFC event. Look, it was history. For anybody that went to that event and watched all those fights, there was a lot of really great fights. So let's see here. Can you guys still hear me? Yeah, okay. Yeah, my audio kind of went out, so weird. Weird night. Metalhead, he might take a lower level fight. McGregor would never take a lower level fight, but I appreciate what you're saying. It's Conor McGregor. You know what was interesting? Oh, Irish Mike said, Irish Mike, what's up, Irish Mike? He didn't lose, he didn't fight. Okay, whatever. Just look, I'm not going to take away from your fighting spirit. Stick up for your guy, but that was a disgrace. And a lot of people paid a lot of money for him to see that. Now, he got hurt. You can't control that. It's not like he threw in the towel and stopped fighting or something and gave up. He got hurt. So, but it was a loss. Look, you can't say he didn't lose because Holloway took a win, right? He was declared a win. So a DQ or a no contest is what you're saying. Didn't lose, didn't fight is a no contest. That's not what happened. So in the books, it's a loss. Let's see here. Thanks for the follows, guys. 26 new followers. We do a lot of WNBA right now, and we're going to move into football. But by the way, next UFC, I will be going live. I'm not doing every UFC because some of them are very boring. The next UFC is a very interesting card. So I think, 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. I don't have it in front of me, but we'll be going live after that. Jackson, I don't think Conor even really wanted Max. Well, I mean, here's what I think with that. I thought that was an interesting matchup because Max is not like exciting. You know, he's a great fighter, but I think that they said, we need to give you a guy that's not going to devastate you. And I think a bigger name would have taken Conor McGregor apart. He's just not the same guy. Look, he can't even stand and throw a kick. Think about that. Even let's say he wasn't hurt when he got in. I think he was. Think about the fact that your hero couldn't even throw a kick. Come on, man. Will Usman win? Metalhead Usman. It's tricky. I'm a big Usman fan. I was watching him way back. Ultimate Fighter. That was one of my favorite seasons. Huge fan. It's hard to say. With him, it's hard to say. He's taken more losses than I wanted him to do in his career. I had higher hopes for him. But look, he's a main event. He's a great fight. I love watching him fight. I love his style. It's hard for me to predict. I might have a better prediction when we get closer. Sucker Poke, thanks for the follow. Guys, you're amazing. Max isn't exciting. Sammy, he's not exciting. I just said it again. Now, okay? Look, these guys are older. He was exciting 5 years ago. I don't see him excited. Look, I just don't say he's... Look, for example, the White House card 250, last UFC. I didn't think any of those guys were exciting. I was bored to death. I have a high standard. Look, I cut my teeth on the classic MMA legends. So it's hard for me to be impressed with a lot of these guys. I'm honest. It's hard for me. But here's the thing, because I have a history to fall back on. But here's the thing. Gable, Steveson, that guy excites me. He is in the mold of a classic heavyweight fighter or a light heavyweight. Well, I think he fought heavyweight. Either way, that guy is nails. So I'm excited about him. So I'm not excited about older fighters. It's interesting. I'm not excited. It's two different things. B, you thinking that Conor's team out the bet on himself is what this panel means? Is what this panel means? I don't know what you mean by that, but you thinking that Conor's team out the bet on? I don't understand a word you said, but it's an interesting comment. But I think I'll just answer you like this. I think he was hurt, and you go in with an injury that's that material. It's called rigging the game. You basically threw the fight to him, but he tried. Getting tapped by Charles wasn't exciting, Jackson. Hey, I'll leave that there. Thoughts on George St. Pierre? Jackson, you asked me about the legend, GSP? He's on the Mount Rushmore. We talked about that earlier. That's a great conversation. Who's on the Mount Rushmore? GSP is incredible, man. And he was in a Marvel movie. So, I mean, come on, man. No, GSP he's another level of human being and fighter that it's really hard to find somebody like that. I love GSP's history. A lot of those older fights, some of my favorite fights. He was unstoppable. Nobody could stop GSP. And he had some really amazing opponents. Max For Gavin, he made 30 mil just for being there. That's a good chance. He had no plans of some of your comments get cut off. Somebody said Conor made 15 earlier, so 15 or 30. I guess it's all the same when you get past 10. But yeah, I think either way, if he got hurt taking his shoe off or if he got hurt on the second kick, this was a terrible fight. I don't know how you can find any silver lining in the future. I don't know how you can find a silver lining in this fight. I just don't. I'm optimistic. The quiet watchman, it looked like Holloway already knew he was hurt from the get-go. Intriguing. Maybe he had a feeling. Who knows, man? Maybe something got out in camp. You never know. One of the things that was interesting, I watched Chael Sonnen on Ariel's show. It's a great interview. Chael is always a great interview. Chael said that Conor's camp has been extremely secretive. And there's certain questions he wouldn't answer about training. And now that is more interesting to me. So, right? Nick, it was not rigged. He was just injured pre-fight and he wanted to get back in. Nick, thank you for your comment and see what happened. That is what rigged is. Let me help you. Some people think fixed is rigged. That's not what I'm saying. Rigged is when you have a material fact or something is going on that is material to the fight and you don't disclose it, but the fight moves forward anyway. That's called rigged. So if what you're saying is true, we're saying the same thing. Thank you for your comment. Let's see here. Respect to Holloway. Jackson. Thank you, Jackson. A lot of you guys have been amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jackson. Respects to Holloway for asking the ref to stop the fight. 100%. Yeah. I think there was a lot of good sportsmanship tonight. Leon Knight says Conor can't go out like this. He'll be back. Okay. But the timeline does not work in his favor. What are you going to do? It's like it'd be 2 years. He has to get medically cleared. He has to have rehab. We've talked about this 75 times tonight. He'd have to get licensed again or cleared in whatever state they're or wherever they're fighting. And then he'd have to go through a training camp, find the right opponent. That could be 2 or 3 years. It's not easy to pull off for a guy like that. Plus, you got to make the deal. Conor's not easy to deal with. Oilfeed Garg said, well, of course it's rigged. Dana needs a salary somehow. It's called Ghost Betters. Fair enough. You and I agree. Nochi, he should just end career now. I missed the rest of that comment. It's going so fast. I think he ended it tonight. I don't think he could fight in other leagues, I suppose. I don't know. It's just at this point, you don't want to really mess up your legacy. Someone talked about his legacy being messed up earlier. I don't think this messes his legacy up as much as his personal life has. But I do think if he tries to fight again and it's another really bad fight, it's going to be like Tyson. Remember how Tyson kept coming back and we were excited? And Tyson's fights before he, started doing Jay Paul stuff. But it was like 10 years ago when Tyson made his first comeback. His fights were so bad they got worse and worse. Maybe even 15. They got worse and worse and worse. It was like it's no point. Let's see here. Oh, Nochi said end his career, not drag it on any longer. I agree. Look, everybody was taking a chance on this, and it paid off as far as look. If all the other fights had been bad or mediocre, different story. But there's a lot of fights on here that were so dope. In fact, I think all of them were great. I was glued to most every fight. I had the whole thing playing. I like to start the prelims, and I'm doing things. I had some chores to do, and I went out, got food, came back, but I was still watching on my phone. I was into every fight. It was a great card. It was a great night. It's interesting. A great night for mixed martial arts, a bad night for Conor McGregor and the UFC. Is that a good way to put it? Because the UFC takes a ding on this. Tanner Kraus, TikTok, he's done, wasting everybody's time. Can't argue with that. I feel like the entire card was great. The last sitting through Conor McGregor's smoke machine, and it's all Ireland and all that stuff. I kind of thought that was a little much for a comeback. I honestly thought that was too much. I was like, Holloway, it's interesting. I'm kind of bunny trailing, but if I was Holloway, now he took the money for it, but I would have been insulted if they told me, hey, we're going to do this whole Conor McGregor worship before you fight, and you're going to have to stand in there during this whole thing and all the smoke. I just thought it was disrespectful to him as a fighter to have that green smoke or the green light. I didn't like that. I thought that was disrespectful. I thought Conor hasn't earned that. Let me just be fair. In the fight game, respect is a thing. I thought it was highly disrespectful, but I can appreciate that that's what Conor likes to do. He likes to do mind games, but Holloway's too smart for that. Look, Holloway is a hero. He came out looking like a great, guy. Good sportsman. He didn't talk garbage. He didn't take advantage of it. He didn't take a cheap shot, and he made a lot of money. He made millions. He's the biggest hero. Oilfield Garge, LM. Oh, you guys are talking amongst yourselves. Sorry, sometimes I think you guys are talking to me. Ty said, I guess God humbled Conor. Fair enough. There's a lot. It's interesting because a lot of people used to hate Conor because of all his shenanigans, his weirdness, the coke and stuff. And then, here we go. Oh, wait a second. On YouTube, I got somebody jumping in wanting to talk about basketball. Kevin B. I'm not going to talk about basketball, but I appreciate what you're saying. I have an answer for that, and you're still wrong. There you go. Come back. How about this? Tomorrow night, we're going live for Fever. Caitlin Clark is active. Kevin, come back tomorrow night, and I will address what you're saying, which is pointless. I'm not disrespecting you, but you are completely off base about what you said, and I will prove it to you in a very respectful way. But I'm not going to talk about that now. We're talking about MMA, but thank you. Jackson, Conor has one fight left on his UFC contract. Well, yeah, there's so many clauses in those contracts, so you can get out of those deals. Look, I think Dana would let him out. I don't see a fight happening. I just don't. Jackson, I'm ignoring you, Kevin. I'm not even reading that. We're not doing we're not doing it. Okay. But I appreciate we're not talking basketball, but continue to watch. Leon, bro, it was a money fight and Dana was trying to make him money and Conor needed the money. Sure. It made a lot of money. The advertisement was probably crazy. They probably charged 5 times on the commercials. Isn't it crazy how not only do we pay for a subscription, but they force us to watch commercials, and then in the middle of a fight, they split screen and force us to watch a Spider-Man shitty movie? Come on, man. That's going to be a shitty... That's my only... Look, I'll say this. It's a good trade-off. Sorry. I'm glad that I don't have to pay $50 for it. It's only $14 or whatever, but I hate commercials, but I appreciate the trade-off. It's all business. I mean, the Super Bowl's like that, so I'll chill. Yes, said... I'm not saying I'm saying yes because that's the name of their. It's funny. Yes said, why talk about Conor? He does nothing. Come on, man. Come on, wake up. Of course he does a lot for the sport. Look what happened tonight. Let's see here. Yeah. Yes is still talking about Conor. I mean, he's not irrelevant. You're not. I mean, okay, if you don't like him, I appreciate it. I can work with that. He's not irrelevant. He's not irrelevant. On YouTube, thank you guys for watching on YouTube. YouTube's now popping. Sean Shipley said he walked out just fine. He did look good to me. And you notice when he was in there doing the swagger thing, he looked good. But a lot of people are saying, I just hit myself. I got injured doing this. Oh my God. We're going to wrap in a few minutes because of my injury. JK. A lot of folks were saying on the chat he hurt himself taking his shoe off or he looked hurt. I don't know. He's washed. P said he's washed. I can't argue with that. Let's see here. I can't say your name, but it's spelled SLUT. And bro, I'm hurt. Are you hurt? How did you get hurt? And what kind of injury do you have? And let me know. Oh, when he lost, we lost too. Okay, back your other comment. You're talking about Conor being hurt. Yeah, look, for the Conor fans, it's a big blow. Especially the fans who flew out, did their thing, bought their tickets. They were talking about them during like all the production between the fights. They did a segment where these guys were coming out from Ireland and talking like Conor and doing the stuff for really super hot interviewers. She was so cute, so gorgeous, and these guys were just falling in love with her and doing all this, embarrassing themselves for her. I was like, she was just working them like a puppet. That was funny to me. But these guys paid thousands to see Conor fall down on his back. Wasn't it? Here's. Let me just tell you, I was so disappointed to see Conor go on his back and then kind of do the turtle. It was so weird. I was so confused, right? It was just so confusing. Back on YouTube, Paddy by sub, easiest money. Everyone had that on X. Interesting. That Hosehead said that. Yeah, I was saying the Paddy sub was weird to me. It seemed like St-Denis just kind of gave up. I mean, when I watched it 3 times and St-Denis looked like he was fighting, he did all the things you do. But it was weird to me how he gave up that. I just thought he gave up his neck and getting choked Darce. It was just not typical. But look, Paddy's a beast. What can you say? P said, I bet on him because he was an underdog, was rooting for Max, but that was not. I can't see some of these long comments get cut off. Oh, look, you must be, okay, I'm not going to insult you, but you must be a rookie at betting because you never do that. You voodooed yourself, dude. You never bet against yourself. If you're rooting for someone and then you bet, why would you do that? You bet against yourself. You either cannot root for anybody, which is what I used to do when I gambled on NFL. I had no favorites, or you bet on your favorite. You support, don't go voodoo. Major error there. Look, I fixed your problem. You'll never do it again. Dustin said, when Conor came out through those kicks and fell twice, you left her. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so I can see people like you totally laughing, and then people like me stunned. Because I'm like, what? I want some MMA. All right, guys, I got some stuff to do. We have to wrap up. You guys are dope. We're back up. Our viewers are growing. Thank you. 30 new subs. Let's see here. So we have to sign off. But let me just go over a few things here. Holloway, McGregor, terrible. Paddy, good win. I thought the sub was questionable, whatever. Batista, Corey, that was a great fight. Loved it. Royale and Kavanaugh, God, I loved that. That was so cool. That was a battle. King Green, that was epic. The comeback was epic. I thought he was totally cooked. We all did. That was against McKinney. Whitaker against Kurlov was one interesting fight. Brutal jaw pop. Gable Steveson, I loved that guy. That's the first time I've watched him fight. I guess that's his first UFC fight anyway. He had 3 fights outside of the UFC. This is his 4th fight. He's undefeated. He's a beast. He looks like an old school kind of heavy-handed guy. I love that. Knees, the clinch, he was relentless. And now the only thing I thought was a problem is he was taking a lot of bombs to the face. And young guys do that. Young, hungry guys, they're just robotic. They don't even feel those hits. But one day you're going to get your light put out. So I would work on that with them. And not every opponent's going to engage you like that. They're going to try to take you down and see that that's a weakness because you're up here, right? And they're going to try to sweep you. But it was, other than that, I mean, I guess that was highly critical. My point is, it's so much upside. I'll watch any of his fights. I could see that guy really starting to get a winning streak. Cody No Love getting his lights put out was kind of interesting. I hate that dumb tattoo on his face. That's just CTE or something. Who would do that? That's just like too ego. So whenever I see him get his bell punched or his ticket punched and his bell rung, I'm good with that. Riley was great. Wang and Tracy, that was a lot of fun. I don't like decisions, but it was a lot of fun. I hate decisions. They just don't seem to like make anybody happy. Piñas and Almada was dope, man. KO, that was dope. Let's see here. Basharat and Garza, unanimous decision. That was the bantamweight fight. That one I could have been okay with that, but it was a lot of. I knew that was going to be a decision because they were just going at it, tough guys. Fight of the night was Royale versus Kavanaugh. I could see that. Performance, like I said earlier, Paddy and King Green, they got performances for quick finishes. And there you go. That was a really great night. Okay, guys, you are dope and amazing. I'm going to sign off. And thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the 2 gifts. 31 new subs on TikTok. Thank you so much. 3,000 hearts. Thank you so much. Double digits. At one point, we had 350 tonight. You guys are great. Guys on YouTube, thank you so much. Kevin, if you're still watching, I wasn't trying to be rude to you, my friend, but I was kind of annoyed by, I'm just been annoyed by the whole thing. The thing you brought up, again, it's basketball, but everybody's all day. Dude, I'll help you through it. It's not anything. It's a one-time thing. But I will address it tomorrow, whether you're on or not, because it's going to be a thing. So I will mention you. Stay tuned tomorrow night. We'll be going live on Sunday night, guys, for WNBA. If you like Caitlin Clark and Fever, we do a whole series on Fever. It's insane. Jump to YouTube. Jason J. Daniel for YouTube. And guys on TikTok, this whole conversation was archived on YouTube. You can go to YouTube, Jason J. Daniel, and you can watch it again, bigger screen. You can watch the replay. It's archived. All my lives are archived, not on TikTok, but YouTube. But TikTok, you're amazing. Thank you. I'm on the road to 15K, so every follower counts. We also have, thank you, Desiree, for reminding me, Desiree, the goddess of the chat, thank you. She's in another state, staying up late. Thank you, Desiree. We love you. We couldn't do it without you. $2.99 for the subscription for TikTok, or $2.99 for the YouTube subscription. It gets you in our fantasy league. And here's what's cool. We are now going to do a private live for fantasy football just for subscribers once a week when NFL starts. That's right. So if I only have 10 subscribers, I'm doing it for 10. I will talk about fantasy. Trust me, I am a fantasy expert. Every time an expert says, trust me, you shouldn't. My point is, I'm very good with fantasy. It's a lot of fun. Our league is insane. Not only if you subscribe do you get in the league, but we do a special live that will be archived for members only on YouTube and TikTok. TikTok will archive those lives, which is interesting. Okay. Last one. Last comment. We'll wrap because I'm addicted to you guys. Dustin, Gable Steveson is a beast, dude. Can't wait to see him in the UFC more. This is the first time I saw. I know. What was his first UFC fight? And the first time I watched him, I saw what you saw. It was exciting. So for those of you that were disappointed in McGregor, or if you were at somebody's house eating chips and stuff and pizza and chatting it up and you just paid attention to McGregor, you need to watch the replay because you missed out on really great fights. I have to say, I've been watching UFC for years. This was better than the White House card, which I thought was super boring and too much whatever. This was back to where we need to be. This was very classic. It had a classic feel. You had a lot of classic fighters. And Cody No Love got his light knocked out, which made me happy. So many good things. UFC can make a comeback if they can find guys like Gable and really foster that. It's hard. It's hard. They're doing a lot of things. They're trying to expand their brands. It's a new age. It's tough to find really good fights and fighters that keep you engaged. It's just a different world. But I loved the feeling, the excitement, and Conor brought that back. So that was good. So, guys, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you, guys. We're going to stop